Hi everybody, my name's Belden and I'm really excited to be working out with you today. We have an awesome, well-rounded class that's gonna focus on bilateral coordination, some core strength. So get your kettlebells ready at the top of your mat and let's get right into it. Let's start with dead bugs. So you're gonna go ahead and come onto your back. Now, super important, create a 90-degree angle. Stack your knees directly over your hips and then reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Should already feel your core engage. Go ahead and reach your right arm back, extend your left leg forwards, and then we'll come back to center. Extend your left arm back, reach your right leg forward, and then come back to center. Let's stay here, breathe in, reach opposite arm, opposite leg. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach your arm back, really stretch those fingertips over your head. And exhale, come back. Let's do a couple more. If your lower back is arching, shorten your range of motion. So just extend a little bit less. You want to feel like you have a corset on around your abdominal muscles. Now let's do two more together. Reach, 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 reach. And then come back to center. Last one, extend, extend, and come back to center. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, rock a little bit back and forth. And then nice and easy, go ahead and press yourself up to standing. We're gonna march in place. So put your hands on your hips and start driving your knees up. Roll those shoulders back. And then I always tell this to people when they're doing an online class, check that you're not necessarily looking at me. You want to keep your head in neutral. So sometimes I'll have students and they're looking down at their camera or their video. So just check, nice long spine. Your neck is an extension of your spine. So I want to keep that in neutral. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and take your arms out to a T. Starting to build a little bit of heat. And then if you want a little bit more, you can reach your arms up over your head. And we're gonna be here for 10 more seconds. Stay with me. Last 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. All right, cross body marches. You're gonna take your arms out. Bend your knees, a little athletic stance. And then we're gonna tap knee to elbow. Little balance. And again, still getting that nice core activation. If you need to modify, you might take your hand to your knee. I'd stay here. And let's do 2 more. Last one. And then come back to center. All right, this is gonna be a main movement that we do today, lunges. So come facing the top of your mat. You want your hips to be in neutral. So I always say your hips are like headlights. You want them shining forwards if you were driving in the same direction. Step your foot back, bend your knee, come back up to standing. All right, so a lot of activation in your glute, keeping your hips in neutral. Now your range of motion might look different than me, and that's okay. We all do different things. Maybe if you sit a lot, you might be feeling that in your hip flexor. Totally normal. Again, checking that your front knee is stacked over your front ankle and you're pressing through your heel as you come up to standing. Let's get familiar with this movement. Want to squeeze your glutes at the top. And again, finding that nice neutral spine. Keep your gaze slightly out in front of you. Keep your chest lifted. All right, last couple, here we go. When we do this in the workout today, I might cue you to just let your back knee kiss the ground. That's gonna be a little bit more challenging. So rather than resting here, we're gonna keep our body engaged, Little kiss, barely taps. Let's do one more each side. Great, and then come up to standing. All right, let's wrap this all up with a high plank to finish our warm-up. Take your hands down to the mat. Let's have everybody start on their knees just to find that form. So shoulders over your wrist, press the ground away, long spine. If you're feeling hot today, you can go ahead and lift your knees up off the ground. Good for that additional challenge. Roll your shoulders. And then my favorite cue in high plank is imagine you're taking your sternum through your shoulders. So you might not notice a big difference, but you should feel it energetically. Nice long neck. Press the ground away. We're gonna hold this for 10 more seconds. Again, if you wanna challenge yourself, you can take your knees up and then always feel comfortable to bring your knees back down as needed. I'm gonna be honest with you, I lost track of time, so we're here for 5. Stay with me, you can do it. Last 3, last 2, last 1, rest. All right, here we go for our workout. We have 3 sets today. Our first exercise is alternating reverse lunges. So go ahead and pick up your kettlebell. I think I'm gonna start with the 10 today. So again, first round can feel a little bit like a continuation of the warm-up. Roll your shoulders, hold that weight at the center of your chest, and then alternating reverse lunges. Tap your knee, come back up to standing. Tap, come back up to standing. So one of my favorite things to think about when I'm in this pose is that I'm trying to get as tall as I can. Imagine a string is pulling you up. You might start a little bit slower, just becoming familiar with the movement. And then as you get more comfortable, you can challenge yourself with the pace. Keeping your spine nice and long. Imagine that string is pulling you up to standing. And then go ahead and rest. All right, we're gonna keep this dumbbell in our right hand. Stand nice and tall. We've got single arm marching in place. So here we go, we're marching in place. Can you put your hand on your stomach and feel your core as you drive your knee up? Roll those shoulders. Check, are you looking straight out in front of you? Stay with me. You already did the hardest part, you're showing up. We did the warm up, first set. All right, go ahead and switch. Take your kettlebell to your left hand, marching in place. Here we go. Now, recently I've been lifting more and noticed that the left side of my body is a lot weaker than my right. So just starting to understand maybe where you're compensating, how different exercises feel, especially when you're doing a right and left exercise. Just to learn a little bit more, be curious in your body. Last 5 seconds here. Stay with it. And then go ahead and rest. All right, next exercise, 2-handed shoulder press. Take your weight in your hands. Little bend in your knees. Roll those shoulders. You're pressing the weight over your head and then slow and controlled down. Press the weight over your head, slow and controlled down. Okay, stay with me. If you notice yourself arching your back and your rib cage is opening up, I see that a lot, you can always come down onto your knees. Sometimes that's helpful. So you can take your knees down, engage your core, just like we did with those dead bugs. Press the weight over your head, slow and controlled down. Press the weight over your head, slow and controlled down. Now, resist the urge to fully extend. You want to keep a slight bend in your elbows, so you're staying activated and engaged the entire time. Okay, exercise number 3, we're moving through it. Russian twist. Come to a seat. Take your heels down to the ground. Slightly lean back. You can do this with or without the weight. We're twisting side to side. Okay, if you want to add a challenge, go ahead and grab your kettlebell, tap, tap. Sometimes I actually feel this more when my heels are on the ground. So again, you can get curious and experiment. If you'd like to, you can take your heels off the ground. But notice, does your lower back start to round? Okay, we want to lift up and out of our lower back, find that engagement of our core, twist, 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 and that's our circuit. 2 more sets. Now this is an opportunity if you want to pick up the weight, get a heavier weight, you can do that. We're gonna start with those alternating reverse lunges. So, grab your weight, nice and strong. Shine those hips forward, roll those shoulders down your back. Let's do it. Tap, come back up to standing. Now, if you want to add a breath, inhale, exhale, push, engage your glute, come up to standing. When I do lift, I actually prefer to go a little bit slower and just make sure that my form is really on point. Good, so again, check, are your shoulders engaged? Are you holding that weight strong? Are you pressing down through your heel? It's starting to get a little sweaty. Halfway through, round 2, alternating reverse lunges. Exhale, press up to standing. Remember that string that's pulling the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Final 5. We're gonna move on next. Single arm marches. Challenge, can you hold on to that weight without setting it down on the ground? Roll those shoulders on your back, marching in place. Knees up. Now, can you roll that shoulder? Stand a little taller. Drive your knees a little higher. Can you put your hand on your belly? Do you feel your core activated? Nice work, stay with it. Switch. Take the kettlebell, put it in your left hand. Roll your shoulders. Imagine that string. Let's march in place. One thing I love about strength training is you can really think about everyday life. I'm carrying my groceries. Am I sagging my shoulder? Really energizing, activating your muscles. So this workout is all functional movements that'll help optimize your performance, your participation, your engagement in your everyday life. Shoulder presses. Take that weight. Small bend in your knees. Press that weight over your head. With control, bring it down. Press the weight, bring it down. Remember, if you want to, you can take these on your knees. Most importantly, engage your core. Those dead bugs that we did. Pull your rib cage down. Press, slow, control down. Press, slow, control down. Press, slow, control down. Stay with it. Maybe you want to add your breath. Press up. Inhale, lower with control. Exhale as you press. Shh. Keeping that core engaged. Let's do one more together. Here we go. Press it up and slow and control down. Russian twist. Last exercise in this round, in this set. Set yourself up, heels down, long spine. I'm gonna pick up the weight a little bit. Here we go. Twist, twist. Now, you might feel this in your obliques. Really focusing on turning and activating side to side. Keep the weight with a strong grip, okay? Strong grip. Notice my shoulders are still retracted. Yeah. Center. And if you need to, you can always set that weight down, but I'd rather you have good form and be in a nice posture and then not compensating with other muscles. Recovery. Go ahead and stand up. We have one more round. So you're here. Let's leave it all on the mat. Last round. Did the hardest part, showing up. Grab your weight. Hips face forward, nice and neutral. Alternating reverse lunges. Press. Press. Now is your back knee just kissing the ground. Barely taps, barely taps. Is your spine in neutral? Sometimes when I see people doing reverse lunges, they start to lean forwards and round their shoulders. So you want to, again, keep that nice long spine. Imagine that string is pulling you up, out through the top of your head. Be as tall as you can be when you come to standing. Last 30 seconds of this exercise for the day. Finish strong. Up to standing. Press up to standing. Last 15 seconds. Again, using your breath as a tool, especially when movements become harder, as a way to stay regulated, calm, ready to learn, ready to grow. Can you keep that weight in your hand? Yes, you can. Take the weight in your right hand, marching in place. Roll those shoulders, stand nice and tall. Here we go. Again, this is the last time through these exercises. Drive your knees up. Feel your core. Check. Is the back of your neck long? Is the front of your neck long? If you're looking for a little bit more cardio, you might pick up the pace, add a little pep in this step. Let's switch sides. Take the kettlebell into your left hand. Roll those shoulders. Final 30 seconds here. Marching in place. Core on fire. Roll those shoulders. Lift your chest. Yes, you can. Ever since COVID, I've been a big workout at home person. I love it. You do it, put it on, work hard, then you're done. You're already at home. All right, so again, good job for carving out the time for yourself to grow. We're already done. Shoulder presses. Last time with these. Take the weight in your hands. Soft bend in your knees. Press that weight overhead. Slowly come down. And check, are those hips nice and neutral? You can always look at your toes. Sometimes people will stand like this in the grocery store. So you just, again, want to find that nice athletic stance, toes facing forwards, arches of your feet parallel. Lengthen your tailbone. Engage your core. And then press that weight over your head. Last round. 15 seconds. Again, less than 30 minutes. To take a little bit of time for you to be in your body. Rest. Set that weight down. Russian twist. Find a seat. Take your heels down. Lean back slightly. Someone just punched you in the stomach, and we twist. Twist. Again, you can add an extra challenge, twisting with the weight. 30 seconds. Can you pick up the pace? We're gonna finish together in a high plank hold. All right, just kind of how we ended that warm up. We're gonna come right back to it. It's gonna be 1 minute. And I love this because you can do these classes and you can come back to it and you can notice how you're progressing, how you're growing. One more twist and rest. Take that weight to the side. So 1 minute, high plank. Open up your hands wide, press the ground away, find your high plank. We are here for 1 minute. If you need to, you can always put your knees down on the ground and then come right back up. This is meant to challenge you. Can you lengthen your spine? We've talked a lot today about growing from the crown of your head. So reach your feet back, lengthen the back of your neck, push the ground away. Halfway here. And with my students in person, I always encourage them, if they feel comfortable, they can close their eyes. You start to feel that shake. And how can you come into your breath and find a little bit of peace in a challenging pose? 10 seconds. Roll your inner thighs in and up. Press the ground away. Everybody, we're up together for 3, 2, 1. Whatever you just did, awesome. Okay, we're gonna keep coming back to that and growing and getting stronger. Most important to me is that you put forth great effort and that you really focused on your form. Let's go ahead and stretch. Finding that tabletop. Take your right hand behind your head. We're gonna inhale, open up, breathe. And then we're gonna exhale, elbow to wrist. Just a nice little tap, little mobility to finish out. Breathe in, open, and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow. I said elbow to knee, I meant elbow to wrist. And then slide it through, thread the needle. If you want a little bit more here, you can take your left hand forwards towards the top of your space and use it as leverage to stretch a little more. My heart is racing. Is your heart beating slow or is it beating fast? I'm just noticing throughout this cool down how you can modulate your activation level by slowing down. Press your left hand down, come back to a tabletop. Take your left hand behind your head. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, twist, elbow to wrist. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to wrist. And one more time, inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to wrist. Thread the needle, slide your arm under. You can walk your hand towards the top of your mat. And see if you can breathe into your left shoulder blade. And press your right hand down, come back to a tabletop. All right, we worked our glutes a lot, so we're gonna do a figure 4 on our back. Take a couple breaths, and then you're out of here. Let's lie down on your back, feet on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, figure 4. You might stay here today, that's fine. You wanna think about taking your right knee away from your body And imagine you're pressing your right foot into a wall. So your foot's flexed. If you want a little bit more, you can take your hands, interlace them behind your left thigh, and breathe into your right outer hip. So just a couple breaths, and take your right knee away from your body. And switch. Put both feet on the ground. Figure 4 on the left. Take your left ankle over your right thigh. Take your left hand and gently guide your knee away from your body. And if you want a little bit more, interlace your hands behind your right hamstring. Notice if one hip feels tighter than the other. It's normal. It can be informative. How you sit, how you sleep. And being really interested and curious in your body. And hug both knees into your chest and roll your knees in circles. Massage your lower back. Come up to a seat and sit crisscross applesauce. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. Soften your rib cage down. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And take an easy breath in through your nose as if you're smelling a flower. And exhale out your mouth like you're blowing out a birthday candle. Inhale through your nose as if you're smelling a flower. And exhale out your mouth like you're blowing out a birthday candle. And last one, inhale through your nose. Exhale, blow out your mouth. And bring your hands to heart center. The energy and the love in me appreciates the energy and the love in you and in our TMAC community. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Awesome work today. Way to get strong. Hope you have the best day ever, and I look forward to seeing you soon.